I'm 83 now. That sounds like a big number, doesn't it? When you're young, 83 is a finish line that's too far away to matter. But when you get here, you realize it's not the finish line you regret missing. It's the starting line you were too scared to cross. If I could go back in time, just for a moment, I wouldn't tell myself to invest differently or marry someone else. My biggest, heaviest regret is the 60 years I spent waiting to be ready. Ready for what? Ready for life to be perfect, I suppose. And life, I promise you, never gives you perfect. The fear of starting, that's what crippled me. I had this idea, a blueprint for a small woodworking shop specializing in custom cabinets. I had the skills, I had the tools, but I told myself I couldn't start until I had $50,000 saved up. Then it was $75,000. It wasn't about the money, though. It was about failure. The idea of opening the shop, working for a year, and then having to close the doors because I wasn't good enough, that shame felt heavier than the weight of regret I carry now. And that is a truly bitter irony, isn't it? I remember talking to my wife, Genevieve, about it every few years. Just wait till young Barnaby finishes college, I'd say. Then I'll start the shop. Or, once the mortgage is completely paid off, then I'll take the leap. Genevieve, bless her heart, she never pushed me. She just listened. But I saw the look in her eyes sometimes. It wasn't disappointment in me, not exactly. It was disappointment for me. She knew I was holding back the one thing that truly made me feel alive. All because I was chasing some mythical moment of readiness that doesn't exist on this earth. I thought I needed a grand entrance. I thought my business, my passion, needed to burst onto the scene fully formed, polished, and guaranteed successful. I watched other people start small. They rented a terrible little shed. They worked out of their garage. They messed up their first few orders, and they learned. I scoffed at them a little, to be honest. I thought, that's amateur work. I failed to understand that the amateur work, the clumsy beginnings, are the tuition fee you pay to learn how to live the life you want. I never paid the fee. So I never got the education. Decades ago, I had a neighbor, Peregrine. He wanted to be a farmer, but he had zero land. So he started by leasing one tiny half-acre plot and selling pumpkins from a folding table roadside. He didn't wait for the perfect tractor or the perfect soil. I waited. Peregrine failed hard his first 3 years, but he learned. Now, Peregrine owns 300 acres, and his children run the operation. Me? I still have my sketches and my perfectly maintained tools in the shed. They are museum pieces now. They are tools of a life that was never lived, waiting endlessly for the dust to settle, waiting for quiet assurance. I realized this fundamental truth far too late, around my 60th birthday. I was sitting there, blowing out the candles, and I thought, I've waited 50 years for the economy to stabilize, for the kids to leave, for the perfect alignment of the stars. And suddenly it hit me. If I had started 50 years ago, I would have already failed and succeeded multiple times over. The waiting was the failure. My inaction was the greatest risk I ever took, because the cost was not money, it was my identity. It cost me who I was supposed to become. When you are 83, the years don't just flow, they rush, they speed up. I look back on all that time I spent agonizing over the perfect logo or the perfect pricing structure. It was all a distraction. It was all noise designed to keep me paralyzed. I spent my prime years creating imaginary checklists that ensured I stayed right where I was, safe and miserable. I was sacrificing joy for the illusion of control. And control is a lie, especially when it comes to life and business. You cannot control outcome. You can only control effort. The worst part of this fear is how contagious it is. I taught my son Barnaby the same lesson without saying a word. I taught him that safety is the most valuable currency. Barnaby is 48 now, and he still talks about starting his own consulting business. When the market settles, he says. I hear my own voice echoing through my son, and it breaks my heart. I gave him the curse of analysis paralysis. It took me a lifetime to understand that a life lived in fear of failure is a life where failure is guaranteed, because you forfeit the chance to win. I look at my hands now. They shake a little. They still have the muscle memory for cutting dovetails and sanding fine wood. But the energy isn't there anymore. The window closed. When you're 20, you think you have infinite energy reserves. You don't. That physical strength, that mental stamina needed to pull 15-hour days building a dream, that's a fleeting gift of youth. I traded that gift for decades of comfort on the sofa, and now the body won't obey. That is the physical manifestation of my regret. If I had started my business and failed miserably, gone bankrupt even, I would have scars, yes, but I would have stories. I would have wisdom earned through battle. Right now, I just have silence. I have what ifs. And what if is the most corrosive emotion a person can harbor, because it's always perfect in your memory. The dream I never chased is flawless, unblemished by reality. But a flawless dream that lives only in your head is just a memory of potential, not a life lived. It's thin air. Please, if you are listening to an old man today, stop planning your first step. Take your first step. It won't be perfect. Your resources will be limited. You will look stupid sometimes. That's okay. You have to be willing to look stupid to eventually become brilliant. Stop waiting for the cosmic sign that says you are now ready. That sign never comes. Readiness isn't something you achieve before you start. Readiness is a quality you develop while you are starting. The action generates the knowledge, not the other way around. Do you understand me? I'm 83. I have a few years left, if I'm lucky. And I have to live those years knowing I deliberately chose to be a spectator in my own life. Don't do that to yourself. Don't let the fear of failing at something you love push you into the guaranteed failure of doing nothing at all. Start messy. Start small. Start today. because trust me, there is absolutely no pain in the world like standing at the end of your life and realizing you spent it waiting for the moment to begin.